I'm going to be talking about busting some skincare myths. It's going to be a bit of a fast and furious show today because I've got quite a few things I want to cover. But firstly, if you don't know who I am, I'm Tanya First. I'm co-founder of Skinlight Cosmetics and First London and creator of Hair Raise Solutions. I have been in the skincare business for 25 years and we have developed a range of our own products. So it's all our own brands that we sell. We've worked with dermatologists and pharmaceutical companies with the very best in the business. And we feel that, we have some of the best cutting edge treatments here. We've been helping people achieve glowing skin, even toned skin for a quarter of a century. So that's quite a long time. And along the way, I have picked up some tips and tricks and hacks and trades and lots of, learnt from lots of people. And I want to share all of that with you. Always love to have your comments, always love to be able to answer any skincare concerns you have. So send me a message. You can DM me, leave a message, if you're here on the show, welcome. And I love doing these talks. I love being connected with you guys. But what's more important for me is to be able to actually address what you would want me to talk about. So if there's something in particular you'd like me to talk about, let me know. As I said, I've been doing this for a long time, and we have a range of treatments that really will help you achieve that perfect skin. When we started, we wanted to bridge the gap. So this was a long time ago, 25 years ago. We wanted to bridge the gap between being able to access products that you can only get from a dermatologist and products that are just going to be so high end, they're going to do something for you without having to go to a dermatologist. So that's why we've worked with some of the best in the business to really provide you with a range, and now develop our own range of all of these products. So as I said, today is all about busting some skincare myths. It's quite funny because when I'm on Instagram, or when I see Instagram, wherever I am really, on any YouTube, there are apparently lots of skincare experts all over the place. So some of the advice is always interests me, because having been trained by one of the consultant dermatologists, really the foundation of really good skincare has not changed for me in 25 years. I still use the foundations of the same products. Formulations have changed because, of course, products get better. There's more science to it all, but really the basics of fabulous skin have remained the same. So I do find it amusing if it goes off kilter, because that's what I've been using for 25 years. I'm always, all our products support aesthetics. I haven't had any aesthetics, but I believe good skincare will always either support aesthetics if you want it, or will prevent you from needing it. So let's get started. Today, the first thing I want to talk about is all dark spots and pigmentations the same. It's not. There are so many different types of dark spots and pigmentation and reasons that you get them. For example, you can have dark spots on your skin, literally like age spots caused by UV rays, sun damage. You just get them as you get older, and they tend to be smaller areas of pigmentation on your face. Then you can have melasma, and that's, even though that is a type of hyperpigmentation, it's completely different. It needs to be treated differently. So melasma, how would you know if you have melasma? Melasma tends to be often on the sides of your cheeks. It can be on your nose. It can be, it can be there on the sides of your mouth, but they tend to be larger, dark patches. So if you have larger, dark patches, you've most probably got melasma. And one of the really common things that we have is that people buy a topical treatment, which is great because you would use a topical treatment for melasma as you would for hyperpigmentation. But people often say, oh, but it's not working. It's fading really slowly. Well, that's because melasma is much more difficult to treat. It does go into the deeper layers of your skin, as opposed to general pigmentation that will be smaller areas of pigmentation on your skin. And it's often hormonally caused. So you'd see sometimes, or you may have even had it, you know, when you're pregnant, they called it pregnancy mask. You can get during pregnancy, so that's a hormonal problem that you would, as a reason that you would get it. The other reason could be, you know, that you've been on the contraceptive pill. That's a really, really common reason for you getting melasma and pigmentation. So that's another reason. So there's so many different things. So that's why you can't, you know, not all hyperpigmentation is the same. It needs to be treated differently. So as much as you do need a topical treatment, so the topical treatment will sink into your skin, stop the melanin, which is the darker pigmentation, from being produced, so that when your skin is renewed, the new skin comes through lighter in colour. You would really need to also treat it internally with a supplement. And this is where people really go wrong with melasma. And I feel that if you can target it both ways, you will see a much better result. And I would recommend something like Nutrifade, which is one of our top selling pigmentation treatments. I mean, this is really, really fabulous. It's 1 capsule a day. And it is so good. I mean, it's not just good for melasma, but I'm telling you that right way. But it's really great for menopausal women, or if you're during your menstrual cycle. It is so good for that. There's a particular ingredient in there called pine bark extract that is such a superpower for all of those things. It's really great for your skin, and there are so many incredible ingredients that really, really balance out your hormones. I think this is just one of the best supplements ever for really, really sorting your hormone levels out. It's a lovely supplement. It doesn't need a prescription. They're all natural ingredients, very, very high-end ingredients, and it is a great supplement. The other one I would recommend if you've got melasma is Glutacaps. So this is glutathione is actually a master antioxidant. If you haven't heard of it, I mean, you know, people hear of it all the time. It is actually naturally occurring in our bodies, and as we age, that reduces. So it's the master antioxidant because it's so good for your immune system. So this is a must, but it also has these incredible properties for being able to lighten pigmentation, lighten skin, brighten skin, and give you an absolutely incredible glow. So this is a top selling supplement. It is so good for you. So it won't only make a huge difference to your skin and treat any pigmentation, but it will also it's also great as an antioxidant. It's so good for your immune system. And I think this time of year, November, you know, you're getting into that season, aren't you, just before Christmas. It's the best time to really load up on that sort of thing, because there are so many, you know, there could be viruses going around, all sorts of things going around. So really highly recommend one of those supplements. Actually, they can both be taken together really safely too. The other thing I want to talk about, I think we might have some video on that. Have we got any video on Nutrifade and Glutacaps? If we haven't, I'll move on. I'll show you the capsule. They're kind of like that. So
hey guys, I've been trying out the Nutrifade supplements recently because my skin tone has been quite uneven. And wow, total game changer. It's packed with natural goodness like vitamin C, pine bark extract, and more, promoting clearer and more radiant skin. If you're battling with dark marks or uneven skin tones, this might just be your holy grail. Get yours now and start seeing the magic in your skin.
Yes, the Nutrifade, so good because pine bark extract is incredible. The other thing another myth I want to talk about is drinking water cures dry skin. Now, hydration is really, really important for your skin, but drinking loads of water is simply not enough to cure dry skin. I mean, this time of year, the heating's on, well, my heating's on. You go outside, it's freezing cold, so you're really prone to dry skin. And as much as drinking water is so important, you have to hydrate yourself, it's not enough. You do need topical treatments for it. It's so important to lock in moisture so that moisture doesn't evaporate into the atmosphere. So one of the best hydrating treatments, it's a staple in skincare. I'd say you can't miss it out in your skincare, and it's hyaluronic acid. one molecule of this will actually hold 1,000 times its weight in water. So we are talking the absolute holy grail when it comes to moisture. It is so nourishing and so plumping, and this one has so many antioxidants in it as well. It is the one I use absolutely every night. It is so nourishing on my skin. It protects it. It just gives it that plumpness, elasticity. It makes your skin feel so smooth. It primes it beautifully. It's fantastic in the morning, under makeup. It's such a great one to apply before you put your makeup on, and it seals every bit of moisture. So imagine that one molecule of hyaluronic will hold 1,000 times its weight in water. So what it's doing is that drawing in all that moisture into your skin and locking it right in. So none of that moisture is going to escape. So you've got that layer of skin so protected. It's such a wonderful, wonderful treatment. And this hyaluronic has the ability, because the molecules are so small, to penetrate to the really deep layers. And that's why it's such a popular one and people talk about it. You probably hear it a lot. And you see it all over the place now. You see hyaluronic, but make sure you always check the ingredients, because not all hyaluronics are equal, because it's all about the ingredients. It's our treatments are organic, they don't have any fillers, parabens or chemicals, so not all hyaluronics are equal, and anyone can put hyaluronic on a treatment, but there might be only the tiniest amount of it. So in order for you to really get the benefits, you need to have a good amount of hyaluronic in there. So it is so good. It's not oily. So if you've got oily skin, that's the perfect moisturizer. I think it's really, really good for teenagers as well, if they're going through like hormonal breakouts. I know when my son maybe had the odd breakout, they've actually got pretty good skin, but they have the odd breakout, it would be that, because having a breakout, again, that's another skincare myth. Just because you have a breakouts doesn't mean you don't need to moisturize your skin. I will come to that one as well, but this I recommend highly. So let me just see, is that right? The other thing I want to say about that is it strengthens your skin barrier. So that skin barrier is the outer layer of skin that you have to really protect and look after. It's the thing that's actually it's the part of your skin that stops all the pollutants from getting in. It looks after your skin, the deeper layers of it, to keep it looking youthful. But that's you often hear about people having hyaluronic filler, so they'll actually have it injected. But I find this, especially after I've exfoliated my face, I kind of put a little bit more on, and I go a little bit lavishly, put a little bit more on, so that it can really boost the hydration in my skin and plump my skin and give me that look. It's kind of like it gives you that filler look, like your face has been filled, but without having to go through the invasiveness of having any filler. Absolutely love it, and it's a staple, and it should be a staple in your skincare routine. Every dermatologist would back that up and say that too. The other thing is, we all love exfoliating. I love exfoliating. I'm really into my exfoliating. My hands, my body, my face. But scrubbing harder, this is the myth, makes your skin in better condition. That is not true at all. Over exfoliating your skin can really, really damage it. It can cause sensitivity, it can cause irritation. It's really not good for your skin. Always being gentle with your skin, gentle exfoliation is much more effective. What it does, if you scrub and really kind of try and strip off those layers, and I know the idea is that, you want to speed up that renewal system, you want to see the fresh, beautiful new skin that's underneath, but there's a reason that our skin takes time to renew, and that's because it needs to settle down, it needs to heal, it needs to reconstruct and come back to its vitality and health. And what you actually do is you destroy that protective moisture barrier. In turn, you're going to cause your skin to be dry, and it will be more exposed to UV rays, and you know it's going to be such a problem for aging. It's actually going to age you so much faster, even though exfoliation will actually cause for you to, it should cause for you to remove, exfoliate all the wrinkles and take away all of those things. But if you go too hard on it, it's just not going to be beneficial for you. And that outer skin layer will really protects you, and it stops from all the pollutants getting in, or the bacteria getting in. It stops moisture loss, so it is so important. And if you strip that protective layer, you'll make your skin so vulnerable to irritants. You'll notice redness, stinging. You remove all your natural oils as well by excessively exfoliating, and it causes dryness, flakiness. It makes your skin tight and really uncomfortable. So I mean, exfoliating, I would say, is really good if your skin is acne prone, but if you overdo it, you will actually create more oil production, because the skin is being stripped of moisture, and these sebaceous oil glands will say, oh, I need to produce more oil for you. So there's so many reasons why you need to be really careful and gentle with your exfoliation. I haven't got it here, but the First London scrub is absolutely beautiful, and it's such a gentle exfoliation that will just really slough off all those dead skin cells, and it won't damage your skin, but you will have such a glowy skin. It's absolutely beautiful. So yeah, I've got a question here. I've got a question. I'm looking on my laptop. How much percent of mental health would contribute to the skin condition of a person? That's a great question. I think it really affects your mental health. I really struggled with my skin when I was a teenager, and you know, it really affected me. It affected my confidence. I felt I didn't feel as pretty as everyone else, and it really does affect you. You don't feel like you can be comfortable in your own skin, and of course all of those things shouldn't technically affect you, but of course they do, because you want your skin to be clear and healthy and in good condition. So it affects your mental health so much more, and what you don't want is to have to feel like you have to plaster on the makeup because you know you're not happy with your skin, and then you take it off and then you look at your skin and think, oh, I look horrible without it. You know, what we want is to help people feel great in their natural skin. I mean, I love makeup, I love applying it, but equally, I'm fine with not having it on too. And that's, you know, and if during the times when I was a teenager and I struggled with it, it really affected me. And I would say I mean, of course, there are so many reasons why people can go through breakouts and have, you know, acne prone or, you know, uneven skin, but one of the foundations of it will always be you're not cleansing your skin properly. And I've talked about it before. Always double cleanse your skin. Only once a day you'll need to double cleanse, and often in the evening, where you use an oil cleanser, rub it in, take all your makeup off, it will break down all the impurities in your skin. Use a flannel, take that off, and then use a gentle foam cleanser. You really need to double cleanse your skin. It's so important for keeping that skin clear. And often if you're struggling with breakout, I will recommend that you try and get an oil cleanser and a foam cleanser and do a double cleanse just once a day. Don't do it twice, and hopefully you'll see a massive difference. Always moisturize after, and obviously use UV protection in the day. So the other thing is, you don't need to use anti-aging products until you start to see wrinkles. Well, as with anything, prevention is always the key. Antioxidants and hydration and SPF are so important in keeping your skin looking young and healthy. The aging process, horrifyingly, actually starts in your 20s and 30s. So it's a great idea in your 20s and 30s to introduce a very simple skincare routine. And I would say something like hyaluronic is the perfect starting point in your 20s. You don't need to, you know, go totally crazy over the top. I wouldn't recommend retinoids, honestly. at that age, I would just say something like a hyaluronic and a squalane oil is all you need. A good cleanser, double cleanse. Keep your skincare simple and a good UV protection. I mean, what happens when we age is we lose collagen, and our elastin decreases. So that smoothness and the plumpness of your skin starts to change. So you really need to make sure that's produced for as long as possible. Starting earlier keeps that going. But let's just say, do you know what? You skip that whole thing during your 20s. You didn't know. Who knows? I'm in the skincare business, but if I wasn't, I wouldn't have known. It's not too late, but you will need to introduce some serious skincare, like some retinoids now, if you haven't used anything like that before. Peptides, antioxidants, and all of those stimulate collagen. I mean, my absolute favourites are I've got a question there from Natalie. Thank you for your question. I'll come back to that in 2 seconds. It's a great question. So this one is it's like a Botox alternative. It's not Botox, but it's an alternative. So it's a peptide serum. It is an absolute must with anti-aging because it connects all the proteins and it rebuilds your skin. It's for more mature skin. It's definitely not, you do not need this in your 20s. 100% you don't need that because you've got plenty of that going on. But certainly from your 40s onwards, you need to be thinking about using a peptide complex because that's going to firm and strengthen and plump your skin. It's so important. And the other thing is a retinoid based skin. Now, I don't like retinol because it's a synthetic ingredient. Some people absolutely love it, and it's shown to have incredible anti-aging properties, but it's very harsh on my skin, and I like to keep it as natural as possible. So my alternative will always be so it will be an alternative, and it will be a natural alternative which has exactly the same results, and it's Bactual. And this is a new treatment that we have in First London. I'm absolutely obsessed. I wear it every day, and it is so brilliant for anti-aging. I can even put it under my eyes. I mean, everywhere really. 2 or 3 drops. You start slowly. You only start like once a week, then twice a week. You've got to build it up. And it's the same effects as retinol, but without the horrible stripping of your skin, the redness, the purging. No, I don't want to do all that because there's mixed views on it. It doesn't agree with my skin, and I feel that anything that's going to be that aggressive on your skin, yes, of course they say, well, it will stimulate the collagen, but I think it's too stripping, and to use for a long period of time, I wouldn't be comfortable with doing that on my skin. So I would use an alternative. Natalie said, how do your products interact with the derma treatments? Well, that's a great question. They interact beautifully. So if you're going to use a derma that's going to put little punctures in your skin. So it's a great way that a derma roll on your skin will really stimulate your collagen. Now, if I was to derma roll on my skin, I wouldn't necessarily exfoliate before. I don't need to have that done if I was getting it done in a salon. So if you're doing it first, don't exfoliate yourself at home. Don't exfoliate your skin first. Just clean your skin. So clean, dry skin, derma roller it, and oh my gosh, hyaluronic will be your best friend. And you want that to really, really sink in. It's probably what would happen in a salon if you had that done, and they would put a lot of hyaluronic on there, and that's going to seal in moisture. It's going to really encourage all of that collagen. Again, if I would say a peptide, I would use definitely. I wouldn't use a retinol because after derma rolling, because your skin is going to be a little bit more sensitive, and even though this is great on sensitive skin, but you've got to be extremely gentle with your skin after derma rolling. It's moisture. That's the key, and sealing it. And I would, if you're going to derma roller, for me it would definitely be do it at night time, because you don't want to, I wouldn't want to go out in the day after derma rolling your skin. Your skin's going to be much more sensitive and more exposed to UV and UVA and UVB rays. So I would stick not to do that. But yeah, it's so important to use anti-aging treatments as soon as you can. The other thing, acne only affects teens. Well, of course we know it doesn't. Now, you can get a breakout at any point in your life. You can get a breakout as an adult, which is so annoying. I mean, menopause can cause that. Hormonal fluctuations can cause it. Even pregnancy actually can cause skin breakouts. There's so many reasons that, you know, your skin is not going to be reacting the same way it's always done. So my absolute go-to favorite I mean, it's actually one I use every day. If anyone has an acne breakout, there's literally two things I recommend to them. Oh my gosh, my favorite, salicylic acid. Salicylic acid is a BHA, beta hydroxy acid. Don't be scared about the acid. It's something I use every day. But if you have a breakout, if you have acne or you're prone to acne, it is the most perfect product. So what it does is it deeply exfoliates your skin. It dissolves all the excess sebum inside the pores. It's so good if you've got blackheads, whiteheads. It just exfoliates it, sloughs off all the dead skin cells. It's really good if you've got acne because it will reduce inflammation as well. It really cleans your pores deep down and also promotes no breakouts. It is so brilliant. Now, I don't believe in toner. I don't, you know, when I was trained by the consultant dermatologist that I was trained by, she said, skip your toner. It's just really light. It's not going to do anything. It's just like really a water. She said, after cleansing, double cleansing your skin, use salicylic. And that's what I use as a toner every single day. And how I was taught to use it was actually not with a cotton wool pad. It's with a gauze pad. I don't know if you can see that very clearly, but it's like sort of bandage material. So it's rough. And I'd put a few drops of that, as I do every night, double cleanse my skin, and then in long sweeping sort of motions, don't rub, long sweeping motions upwards, neck as well, take the excess off. And imagine you've double cleansed your skin, you'll be amazed at how much is on that gauze pad, because it's all the dirt that's been sort of clogged up in the pores and dead skin cells. So it really is good for renewing your skin. And then after that, of course, hyaluronic. And what better than to put hyaluronic after you've got that perfect prep? You know, the prep of your skin, I can't sort of stress this more. The prep of your skin is absolutely vital. It's so important to prep your skin before you apply any makeup. So it gives you just the not makeup, any skincare, because you want your skincare to sink in. I mean, it's going to make your makeup look fantastic as well, but you want your skincare to sink in. It needs to be the perfect base for it. So I'm just saying, better. It is, Paulette just said, is it good for teenagers? It's absolutely the one I recommend for, I've actually recommended that to loads of teenage friends of mine who've got teenagers. And even boys, you see, because it's like, boys, I don't want to put, mind you, not nowadays, boys are quite into their skincare, aren't they? And I'm good, I'm glad. Go for it, boys, get into your skincare. It's the perfect one, and if my son had ever had a breakout, it would be the one that's in our bathroom always, and it's the one that you would put with a gauze pad. And if you've got a horrible spot, a really horrible one, what you do is you put a bit on there and you hold it on there for a little bit, and it goes white, and honestly, it's a game changer. But I use it every day. I would recommend that every day. So for better skin care, do we need to limit carbohydrate intake and sugars as well? Look, diet plays a huge role in your skin. Carbohydrates and sugars are really important parts to our diet. I don't believe in limiting any food groups, but it needs to be balanced. I eat everything in moderation. Good sugars, not refined sugars, carbohydrates, they're so important. As a girl that trains, I spent years kind of jumping about like a lunatic in the gym and just not eating enough carbs. And, then I sort of woke up and went, I'm not eating enough carbs. So I'm not somebody that says, don't eat carbs, don't eat sugars, make sure they're not refined, keep the carbs, good carbs, like, baked potatoes, basmati rice, whole grain rice, but we need all food groups. So anything that's imbalanced, if you're going to eat too many carbs and too much sugar, of course that's going to have an impact on your skin. I feel like I can always tell how healthy someone is. They've got good nails, good skin, good hair. It all impacts on it. It's the foundation is diet and sleep. Diet, sleep. You can't get away from that. But yeah, I'd definitely say don't exclude carbohydrates and don't exclude sugar. We need all food groups. The other myth is pores open and close. Well, pores don't have muscles, so pores can't actually open and close. But what warm water does is it dissolves the dirt that might get trapped inside the pores. So if you've got a bit more textured skin, or any skin, everyone's got pores. They might be smaller for some people, larger for others, but dirt will get trapped in them. So we need to remove them. So steaming your face is so brilliant for just dissolving and loosening the debris. And I always say, before you exfoliate, if you've got access to a little, I bought a little it's like a handheld, I've got a handheld steamer, and after double cleansing a couple of times a week, once a week maybe if I have time, I will steam my face before I exfoliate with the blue scrub. And it's a game changer because it will loosen any dirt that's trapped in my pores, and then it'll be easier to remove that and clear my skin a bit more. And cold water won't close your pores, because your pores are there, they don't open and close. It will just reduce puffiness. So people go, put cold water on. I know my son once was like, he was putting ice on his skin. He's got perfect skin, but anyway, his skin did look amazing because it will just give you a more smoother look. But it's not because it's closing a pore, it is actually just reducing any puffiness if you have it. Oily skin doesn't need moisture. Well, that's another myth. Oily skin, if you've got oily skin, firstly say hallelujah, because your skin's going to look younger for longer. It might be a problem when you're younger, but it is a good problem to have because you've already got natural moisture. All skin needs hydration. So if you've got oily skin, you think, I'm not going to moisturize it, your skin is going to compensate for the dryness and it's going to produce more oil. So I would use a moisturizer like hyaluronic. That's a really, really, really good one to use if you've got oily skin. So yeah, I'd really recommend that. What's that, Leslie? Doesn't heat cause pores to expand and cold to have them shrink? Not really. The pores will stay roughly the same, actually, Leslie. It's just that it will reduce the puffiness in your skin if it's cold. So the heat will just dislodge the dirt inside the pores, and that's all it's doing. And it's just making your skin less puffy, and it will make your skin appear, as in when your skin is warm, it's more swelled up, so the pores will appear larger, but actually they're not shrinking. It's not a muscle that's shrinking and retracting and contracting like that. So the cold water will cause your skin for the puffiness to go down, so that will just give you the effect that the pores look smaller. But yeah, great question. The other thing, you only need sun cream when it's sunny. No, that's a complete myth. You actually need sunscreen even when there are clouds, and even when there's a window, and UVA and UVB rays can penetrate through things. So it is really, really important to use sunscreen in the morning, not in the evening. So it is really important, even on a cloudy day, even when it's like autumn here, I will use sunscreen every day. I would say that if you're not using it, if you start using it, it will game change your skin, because you can put all the great skincare in the world, but if you don't put sunscreen, you're going to be really undoing all those great effects of it. Thank you, Paulette. You love the blue scrub. The blue scrub is my spa in a jar. It's the one I want to kind of like, it's the one I do. It's the one I do when I go out. It's the one I do sort of the weekend. And it will just, it's just so gorgeous. And I've got a new way of doing it actually. So I put my scrub on to clean face and rub it all in. And then what I do is I've got this handheld face steamer, and I actually steam my face with this blue scrub on. Oh my gosh, it is the most incredible thing. And then I rub it all in and it turns into such a beautiful gel. But yeah, that's and then I'll take it off and your skin will be absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, sunscreen, you need it all the time. It's really important for pigmentation. It's really important for preventing pigmentation and keeping your skin even. And I do think that an even skin tone is one of the things that can, if you haven't got it, or if you're struggling with it, can really affect you. You want your skin to be as even as possible. And lastly, what I'm going to talk about is skincare gives you overnight results. You see it, don't you? Use this and and nothing's going to give you an overnight result. Your skin, it takes time for the effects of good skincare to work. So you have to be patient with it. You really, really have to be patient with it. And our skin renews roughly 28 days, but it's actually more like the older you are is roughly the age you are, so it could be even longer. So yeah, you need to be patient. Nothing works overnight, so consistency is the key. Keep it simple, keep it pure, keep it clean. And the last question is here, why is your blue scrub blue? It's actually spirulina that's in it that makes it blue, which is incredible. It's actually good for you to take, but don't eat the blue scrub. It's a good supplement, but it's so good for your skin. It's the spirulina in it that makes it blue. But thank you everyone for coming. It's so good to do my little Thursday night Tanya Talks. If you've got, and thank you for your questions, I appreciate them. If you've got anything else you'd like to, I'm going to do this every Thursday. It's usually about 7. But if you've got any questions or you'd like me to cover anything, let me know. Yeah, message me, but subscribe to my channel. I've got a YouTube channel, and I always love having you guys here. Thanks so much for joining me, and hopefully see you next week.